President Trump, are you going to testify? Yes.
All right, well, that was former President Donald Trump just moments ago saying he is ready to testify. After the stage got set, the 18 people who will determine his fate have been seated in his hush money trial in New York. Opening arguments will begin this Monday. The big developments today, among them, the judge ruling that prosecutors will not have to give advance notice of the witness list to Trump's legal team because the former president cannot be trusted not to post about them. Team Trump will, however, get one name on Sunday night. Trump railing against the gag order imposed by the judge that limits what he can publicly say about witnesses. He says it's time to take the muzzle off.
They've taken away my constitutional rights to speak, and that includes speaking to you. I have a lot to say to you, and I'm not allowed to say it. And I'm the only one. Everyone else can say whatever they want about me. They can say anything they want. They can continue to make up lies and everything else. They lie. They're real scum. But you know what? I'm not allowed to speak. And I want to be able to speak to the press and everybody else about it. So why am I gagged about telling the truth? The judge has to take off this gag order.
But some in the liberal media don't care about fairness. It seems like all they want to see is the former president thrown in jail.
Put him in jail?
At the same time,
Joey, is that what you're saying?
Why not? That's exactly what I'm saying, Jim. I mean, look, yes, I get he's a former president. How else are you going to maintain decorum? How else are you going to maintain respect?
Because he's an ex-president.
Yeah.
But it's even more incumbent on the court in this process to hold Trump accountable. And I don't think fines are going to do it. I think he needs to sit in a cell. He should be put in a cell and contemplate his behavior.
But Stephen A. Smith has a message for them. He's putting Democrats on blast and accusing them of using the courts against Trump.
That appears to be their strategy, but I'm here to tell you, it's not working. It's not working at all. And to be quite honest with you, I don't mind the fact that it's not working because I might not be a supporter of Donald Trump, but I want him to lose the right way. I want him to lose because you have better ideas and you make your case to the American people better than he does.
All right, that was Stephen A. Smith. I mean, Jesse, does he have a point? I mean, this is a former president. Shouldn't he get a fair shake here? And has the media gone too far with just calling to lock him up?
Brilliant move by Democrats. You're indicting this guy so many times, and then he can't talk about how unfair it is. You're rigging the election, and he says you're rigging the election, and then he gets thrown in jail for saying you're rigging this election. This is probably the best campaign strategy the Democrats have ever come up with. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't think it's working. Stephen A. is right. We send Johnny out everywhere, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, young and old Americans alike. They've had it with Biden. Never met a Biden fan in my life through Johnny, and except my mother. And so this could be a landslide that nobody sees coming because of how unfair this is. I would make them put me in jail. I would have a tweet about something maybe perhaps I said on the 5 or Jesse Waters primetime, and I would force them to throw me in jail if I were Donald Trump. The mugshot backfired. The indictments have been backfired. Being a martyr in jail for maybe, what, a day, 24 hours? I think that would be good.
Jesse can't go to jail.
He can't go to jail?
Jesse can't
Oh,
go
I
to
can't
jail.
go to jail.
No,
I absolutely could not.
Yeah.
But I would if I was running for president because it would probably help. Couldn't hurt. And if they make him testify, do you think Donald Trump's going to testify? I don't know if he's going to testify. I would probably not testify and go to jail instead. That's what I would do.
Harold, does Jesse have a point? I mean, this is starting to make it look like Democrats just don't like fairness.
Well, I push back totally on that notion about Democrats and Republicans. He's under indictment. He says he's innocent. I believe he's innocent until he's proven guilty. I would employ a different strategy if I was indicted. I would have my lawyers laying out my case, and I would be outdoors after a day of court saying, here's what happened, here's why what happened today in court proved that. This president has a unique way of defending himself, a unique way of articulating points. He said, Jesse, and then when he was walking in, the press asked him the question, he said, I would testify, so we will see if the president, he has that right. He has the right not to testify. I think one of the things, in fairness to the guy you put up there on CNN, I had that up on one of my screens in my office earlier, maybe it was yesterday or today. And I thought what he was responding to was whether or not if the president violates the court's orders, would he be arrested? Not just arrest him. Maybe I misunderstood the way the point was being introduced. And I'm torn there. I don't know. I think if you don't, and I'd be interested in hearing Emily's take on this. If you have a set of rules in the court and a defendant or a party to a suit violates something that the court has laid down, and one of the penalties is after a while you get arrested. I don't know how you don't arrest him, because if you don't, then that means that you and I or Jesse or Tyrus or anyone, if we're in court ever, and I hope never to be indicted and don't plan to be, that we would be able to use that as the Trump defense.
No, but this is a political show trial, Harold. This isn't like your regular felony or misdemeanor.
We're pals, brother, but that's not right. This is a trial.
It's a show trial.
Well, you can say he was indicted because of things you don't believe he should have been indicted about, and that could very well be true.
He's indicted because he's running for president against Joe Biden.
Okay, but let's be clear, though. This is not a show. It's a trial, and if he's found guilty in this trial, he can't say, I'm not going to be, if you sentence me, I'm not going to go to jail because it was a show trial.
Look, he won't be sentenced to prison because it's not a real case, Harold.
I'm an American.
Someone without a criminal history. This is a white-collar situation. There's no way he's being sentenced to prison for this.
He could be.
Regardless
no
of
what
what
happened, he will be
happened.
sentenced to prison for this.
Let me just finish my point. I don't know if you're right about that, but he could be sentenced.
As someone who's never passed the bar, I am right, Harold.
This is true, and neither have
You
I.
never took the bar, though, to be fair.
To be fair,
You took the bar. Let's just put that out there.
Right.
But to be fair, we
he's
know
innocent. He is innocent till proven guilty, and I look forward to hearing the case.
Well, we know where this is going next. We followed it minute by minute today. The jurors are in place. They have been sworn in. We know that the prosecution, as of Monday, it was confirmed today, they will be able to start making their case, Emily.
Right. And the question is sort of, well, will the defense be able to make their case? Because when you pose that hypothetical about that you would have your lawyers make the case for you, and that if rules are set in place and you don't obey, then naturally incarceration is sort of the next step. But the question is sort of, well, what if the rules are unfair? What if they're totally rigged against you? What if the application of those rules are totally faulty? And by that, I mean, as Trump's defense has tried to, for example, subpoena Stormy Daniels this week, they said this is so that we can get all that information that is in that interestingly released documentary just in time for her to make a lot of money. Well, that was called witness intimidation and harassment. So the question remains, how can Trump's defense team adequately and accurately defend themselves when they're being blocked, they argue, from even assessing the information? How is it that the defendant is gag ordered, but the star witness who has been convicted of perjury and worse, that he's let free to taint a possible jury? And let's talk about the impaneled jury. So here it took 3 days.
Michael Cohen?
Yes, sir. Here, after 8 years, these charges were brought. Jury impaneled after 3 days. Yeah. Interesting how it took 2 months to impanel Joker Tsarnaev's Boston Marathon bombing trial. You know how long it took to impanel Scott Peterson's trial? 4 months. The Night Stalker, pretty sure we knew he was guilty. 9 months. The list goes on. And yet here, 3 days. Trump's at trial, an NYPD officer is at trial for getting punched. The list goes on.
You got to roll them sleeves up, okay? Forget the gag order. Keep it in the streets, because that's what's building him momentum. We're all paying attention. President Trump going to jail will be right up there with Martha Stewart. He will see from the inside, and then when he gets elected, he's going to have amazing prison reform. He's going to fix stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be like Jesse with delicate skin and good hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to go in there, he'll come out with some cornrows, and he will be excited. I'm telling you, this is the best thing for him, to fight it, keep it in the public. If he's saying the deck is stacked against him, and that's his mindset, then accept the fact that you're going to go to jail. Keep it out when you come walking out. Do it. Let them cuff you. Let them, because you know what? More American people identify with being, pardon my language on the five, screwed over by the system, to see somebody that this is modern day living martyrdom. He's going to be about, and Stephen A., you gave us the word egregious. This is egregious. And I don't agree with much Stephen A. on political stuff, but I agree on this. I'm willing to go out on national. Stephen A., let's take a bet. You're a Knicks fan. I'm a Celtic fan. If they meet in the finals, loser has to wear their other team's colors for a whole week. Keep it up, Stephen A. He's just like White Lightning. That's what we call ourselves when we were a tag team in wrestling. But Mr. President, keep it in the streets. And when you get in prison, use that time for amazing prison reform. This is a win-win. Look what Martha Stewart did with her little prison time. She changed lives.
Do a little prison workout in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. If I had a microphone, I'd drop it. I could probably leave now. I don't really feel like I can top that.
No, we're going to need you for the next hour.
But in my book, he's innocent. The president's innocent until they prove him guilty. I'm not seeing a lick of evidence.
I'm talking about the gag order. If they're going to put him in jail for the gag order, take it. Take it.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.